Well, hello transporters. We are moving down the road down down Route 40. Now we're bringing a C-Class out of Elkhart, Indiana, brand new camper. It's sort of on a van front end with a camper body built on, and we're moving that out of Elkhart, Indiana, out of the factory and down to Charlotte, North Carolina. And while I'm 2 in the morning, nothing much else to do, I thought I'd talk to you about panhandlers. Now, panhandlers in the old days, and we're talking a decade ago, you saw a panhandler every 2 or 3 or 4 truck stops. You'd have a panhandler come up to you, and a panhandler is going to be somebody that all they want out of you normally is your money. They don't want your gasoline, they don't want your time, they want whatever money you have, cash, that you're going to give up. Or possibly they want to set you up for a robbery. Now, since the crash of the economy, I have noticed probably you cannot get away from a truck stop nowadays without at least one panhandler after you that's going to try to panhandle you. Now, a good panhandler, I learned to panhandle in San Francisco years ago from a black guy with a really scarred up face, and I was trying to panhandle on the corner because someone had stolen my wallet and my suitcase and everything that I had on, and that's before credit cards or anything, or debit cards. So I was penniless, and he taught me that to panhandle properly, you have to give the people something before you ask them for money. And if you do it nicely enough, you never have to ask them for money. They get the hint that you're needing help. So I'm thinking, what the hell can a panhandler afford to give you, especially somebody that's out of money? And he told me what you can give them is a compliment. So you find something about them that's different or unique or nice, their shoes, their boots, their hair, a ring, something, and you, as kindly as possible, without staring at them too much, over staring at them, so you intimidate them, you compliment them and just wish them a nice day, not necessarily asking them for money. This guy stood right there in the corner with a sort of a gnarled up face. Nothing against black people, but this guy was a very black person. Wasn't unneatly dressed, but he wasn't overdressed either. And he raked in about $42 in a half an hour, just giving people compliments on this or that. And that's a good way of panhandling. Now, a good panhandler, that's what they're going to do, is compliment you first, get talking about the weather, whatever, just get to talking about you. Now, they have 2 reasons. One, they need money, and they're panhandlers, or they live out on the road. These people, when they analyze them, a good person living out on the road who's creative makes equivalent of about $52,000 that you would earn working your butt off for a living, because everything's free, everything is tax-free, and there's plenty of advantages out here to keep them on the road with money and food. So this person is just doing his job. That's his business, is panhandling. The other thing is they could be setting you up for a robbery. Now, if there's sometimes they travel in groups of 3 or 4. One of them's going to stand by the cash register and, like we were talking about, watch who pulls wads of money out of their pocket and which pocket they're pulling it out of. I know this to be true because when I was a young teenager, I worked for the circus as a pocket spotter. The carnival came to town, and I wanted to run away with the carnival, and this guy taught me to stand at the front gate and give a signal as to when guys had their wallet in their rear pocket, either left or right, that had a big lumpy wallet. And I would spot them in a crowd of people, hundreds coming in, and give him a signal at which point a girl with great big bosoms and a low-cut sweater would walk up to that man and bump into him. When she bumped into him, the man coming from the other direction at the same time, when she bumped into him face to face like a dummy, not paying attention, the guy behind him would lift his wallet out of the pocket that I told him it was in. They would give me 10%. Back then, 50 years ago, 10% was a lot of money. $10 was more, than you'd make in a day. And you'd hit maybe 30 or 40 people coming into the carnival. So I know that this works. So when they're spotting them, the only one that you cannot pickpocket is somebody who's carrying his wallet in the front pocket. I've only met two people that ever could pickpocket a front pocket, and they both had great big boobs and low-cut sweaters, and very smooth, very fast, and you were pickpocketed before you knew what hit you. So these people that are looking to size you up, either near the cash register or outside, if they're asking you for money or cigarettes or directions or gasoline, they could be just asking you for that. But there are chances that they're just asking you that to get the conversation started and to size you up to see whether you're an easy target or not. Now, when somebody asks you to panhandle, your best defense is to look them straight in the eye and say, I am a contract driver and I carry no cash. All I have is fuel cards. And they're no good for cash or food. Do not look away. Do not look down. Do not look to the left or right. You look them straight in the eye when you tell them this, and you keep traveling. You want nothing to do with this person. As cold as it sounds, they're out there for a reason, and you're out there for a reason, but you want to live to retire someday. If they're looking to size you up, they're looking for somebody that's weak in the eyes, that looks away, or that stutters or hems and haws. They're looking for that mark, and you don't want to be that mark. So whatever they're asking you for, even if something as simple as a cigarette or a light or directions or anything else, you don't have time for this. And they're out there since the market crashed. There's panhandlers every which way. And I mean, you see them at every darn truck stop across U.S. and Canada now. And pretty much every truck stop or every other truck stop, you're going to see at least one panhandler. Now, I'll talk really quickly about lot lizards. Lot lizards, sound funny, but these are women or young gay boys that want large dollars from you. Now, these will travel through the parking lots or near the coffee machine trying to pick you up or solicit you. Usually, they're going to only approach you if you have a sleeper berth, which is a truck with a sleeper or a camper on your truck and you're alone. Not if you're a partner. Normally, they don't bother you. They don't have time for that because they don't want to get beat up or snuck up on or whatever. They scare the hell out of me. And I've only been offered a few times, and I've been a couple of times where they actually got in my truck while I was sleeping. And one was in New Jersey, right there on 278 at the rest area. I was running a brand new show Volvo, beautiful truck, mahogany dash, leather seats and everything else, and I pulled over to go to sleep in the sleeper, locked all the doors, and woke up and some woman, I thought I was dreaming, but anyway, I woke up and some woman is unfastening my trousers. And I went, what the hell are we doing? She says, oh, I'm here to be your friend until you're satisfied. I'm here to make you happy. Scared the hell out of me. She was attractive looking, maybe 35-year-old woman. I said, "Hey, ma'am, could you do me a favor real quick and grab my handgun out of that pocket of that passenger seat?" She says, "Man, I gotta go." And she jumped out of the truck. I didn't have a handgun in the pocket of the seat, but that's the only thing I could think of at the time. The other time, the woman is sitting in the passenger seat looking through the stuff in the dash on the driver's side. And I just popped. I think she was there to rob the truck. I don't think she was there for me. But I said, "What the hell are you doing?" And she just about jumped completely out of her skin and jumped out the door screaming and crying. I just scared the crap out of her is all. But I have no idea what she was up to. But some strange stuff happens out here on the road, so just don't be surprised. I don't believe you want anything to do with any panhandler out there that meets you and 2 seconds later wants to have your next baby. I don't think they're out there for any good. So panhandlers and lot lizards, as far as I'm concerned, are just out there to take your money. Since the crash, there are at least 5 times more of them than there was before the crash. So good luck. Don't take any wooden nickels.